we go too far. And lying is called the end.
Oh. You bastard.
I'm sorry.
Now I've gotta change it. This motherfucker.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how your light works, but last I remember, this place is loaded with divinity.
I feel a connection here. I can sense that there's another being, maybe, or that there's divine anyway, but that's only because I'm connected to a god myself. Other than that, I don't know that I feel empowered here. The light still feels the same. It's always distant wherever I go that isn't home realm. The traveler's light stretches across and is in all places and all things, as they say, but there are moments where even so far out, it feels distant. I can use the powers all the same, thankfully. But that's always why when I go down, I need a push to get back up, or my ghost does anyway. So far, being so far from the traveler makes it difficult to bring me up again afterwards.
Makes sense.
For context, Mom's tail became like the tail on this one.
Well, this is it. The Hall of Fate.
Wow. This is certainly something.
This one.
So, besides from this, is there some type of divination to be done, like, around? I'm used to, like, shamans and that type of stuff. I grew up around that. Is there anything specific that we need to do here? Anything that needs to be
The
done?
main thing is to have Flora read any literature there is. There's some of the murals that have words on them, as well as those two. But, I mean, if you think about it, all these murals do tell a story. The question is what chapter we're in.
Who do you think that is?
Honestly, I don't know. I would want to say it's like an umbral aspect, but I'm not too sure.
Certainly a spooky looking fella.
Is that, Gabriel?
Could be. But I don't know. Seeing Gabriel's, I guess, true form. So I don't know.
Well, it's not Daedalus, if that's what you think. He's in the picture. The horn's on the wrong side. most likely.
Reincarnation.
Sometimes forget how old you are.
They're setting the Umbra free and they wish to be forgotten. Maybe this is the only place where they're recorded.
What do you make of all of it?
These are all previous Guardians.
It's hard to look at.
Why is that?
This is touching subjects that about my family. I guess you could say.
Old memories best left undisturbed?
It's a shame that the legendary weapons. It's a shame that the legendary weapons can't translate written text, only speech.
Did you know this place is called what? Hall of Fate.
Ika. How's it come over here too, big man?
So, Auntie Ika, it says they will set the I'm paraphrasing a little bit for the middle part, but it's like they will free. May their story be forgotten. All of these are names. The top two both are Deimos.
Yes.
And then the bottom ones, Daedalus, Eka.
That's not gonna happen.
So
So now I know you don't like this place.
my guess for this, once again, it's still somewhat hard to read. It likes to shift a bit whenever you're reading it.
What does setting Umbra free mean?
It's vague. Too vague.
It was.
I have a theory of what it could be, but I don't like it.
No, fair to nothing.
It would mean releasing King.
King?
Our father.
I think I remembered you talking about this.
Of course.
The old Umbro King.
Mhm.
No good.
No good indeed. How much have they told you? So I can get an idea.
Anything else of importance, kid?
Not.
I
on this
don't
one. I was trying to
remember entirely fully. A lot of it was stuff in passing. If it was ever anything important, I never really sat down to have a history lesson. But I remember.
You know, also this one, I think there's at least two more.
I remember that I could be
That
misremembering
one, and
though.
then there's one in there.
That
Yeah,
was
there's the real
I
ghastly
the
one
first
over
time
there.
that all of the demons that were there, the cultists, I guess, they were in a way
The church.
they worship. Yeah, the church. They worship the king, right? Or am I misremembering?
They worship, yes, the king. Church created by. Ugh. The woman who runs the church, she worships him, praises him. She's created a following. The people, myself, my rebellion, were against them. My father.
The roses, right?
Ezra Roses, Silver Tongues, some others.
I've dealt with the roses before, and I say dealt as in I've dealt with them and done
Geomancy.
bargaining, trading, but I haven't really asked them too much aside from that.
We had a few
Could be.
in Calpafell.
Or that red, mysterious energy that's been enshrouding her lately. This seems to be one of the only depictions in which it's present,
in the acres
though
itself.
the differing in the wings makes you wonder if it's meant to be a path of some kind, perhaps. One end, it looks like a feathered wing, something akin to an angel, perhaps. The other, bat-like, maybe demonic. Perhaps the implication that the pendulum could swing either way. For good, better,
That's what you meant.
or
You said that the other day
worse.
when I asked you about it, you mentioned that there was something
What dictates it, however,
that got activated, right?
that I have yet to find in my own mind.
I assume it's that over there.
Maybe the text gives more.
The last
Changed, but
servant must complete their
it's to do with
destiny.
our bloodline.
The last servant?
That mark then, right?
It,
It's similar.
Right.
Every life had a different looking one, from what I gather.
I assume you have one that's similar as well, given the fact that you're on that board right there. So, this mark
take control of
and it's
your
notable enough
servant
to at
and
least be
banish Umbra
in
once and
3
for all.
different areas. What does this mark
This
do
mark
again?
shouldn't appear unless said person
Make
is dead.
Deimos finally rest.
But Daedalus is not dead.
Who's Deimos again?
Deimos, from what I remember, because Deimos is a story as far as I'm aware, but as we know, seems stories here have more accuracy, but from what I remember, it was wind goddesses, Day and Mos, if I remember the story.
And Daedalus will fulfill this
Ah,
prophecy.
I suppose if we banish Umbra forever,
This fate.
we wouldn't have need of the wind mana to keep Umbra at bay. Thus, they rest.
Yeah, but it's the take control of the servant part.
But as you know, it means that
Do you think that might refer to the Umbral Knights? The servants? After all, it is technically their duty to serve.
But the fact that your names are on there indicates that you're at least the
That
end of the
could
line.
be, but at the same time, it's like
Stop it.
servant can also be
I've never been fond of fate.
whatever that symbol is.
Yeah, that symbol shows up a few times. This one,
If it was up to fate,
some similar to it over yonder, and even others on the way back.
years ago.
Ah, there too. It's strange.
You see that? There's that one. There's that one. Two separate, right? We can go over there.
I don't think
how they're combined.
I think that was her decision that she made. And because of that decision,
Sorry, musical adjustment.
so I think we can do the same today.
Make it two-parter.
Whatever's going on with them is definitely trying to fulfill this fate. And that's why I don't like it.
Could this be
Banish
some
the
divine
umbrella once
intervention,
and for
maybe?
all,
Some
but
kind of
Thanos to
divine
rest.
forces acting upon D,
Take control of the circle.
or maybe not even divine, but maybe even your father. Would that be possible?
Anything else you can glean out this one?
Oh yeah, he sure thinks
Not
he does.
currently, like I said, it's
It's just,
JetBlue makes
So they're
your
probably
fare
not
fly
very
further.
good.
Oh, hell no.
there's at least one.
You've
I
been
don't
robbed.
recall asking for a motherfucking
Mommy
ad on my
ordered
shit.
before me, like, roughly was struggling with it, so...
Does Umbra come from the king? Like, originate from him? Empowered by him?
I
No.
don't...
Hmm.
No.
Suppose that cuts that theory out of the equation. How we get rid of Umbra permanently is,
Father is one of the reasons I really wish that Dedas wouldn't use Umbra. He's a prime example of that.
I also don't think it's a good idea. Just as much as using the Curse series and Umbra seem to have too much in common.
Wouldn't be too bad.
There's a mural made
I
wrong,
don't know
but
about lost.
I don't know how much
I would not be lost.
it would give the story, but there's some wording on it.
Ancient mentor, you're more of a pain.
Echo,
Well,
you
from what I gather is you burnt all of the other you.
But
You
found
talking
it's
to
like
someone?
No.
seriously concrete,
Or
but
he's mine.
better to check it than to not.
You know how Dedas has Gabriel.
Your umbral aspect, then, or your companion.
Belle the Martyr?
Shut up. Not you.
what?
Hell, the martyr.
Yeah, at least
Again,
that's what I think it says.
He's existed for a long time.
It was
Auntie
more thinking
Eka?
about my father.
He
Auntie
understands
Eka?
it more than I do. I can say that.
Does Belle sound familiar?
You remember her?
Because the last one this says was Belle the Martyr from what I can read.
Failed in what way? No.
Hell, the martyr. That's introductory. Joker mural.
What about the entity? Have they been consulted?
Think about this, alright? Bell the Martyr. This one. Or.
Yes. From what I gather, at least the stories I was told as when I was young,
This one.
the entity wasn't always the entity. She
Martyr.
was just simply the
Martyr of what?
wife of my father.
Probably this whole thing. This whole story. Think about it. Bell the Martyr. That's where they didn't put that in. Normally a martyr gets,
She learned about the
is like the what do you call it? The ground
A
zero
martyr is
incident.
etched into history by their followers,
That's why we didn't grow up together.
or the witnesses of their martyrdom. But if this is some kind of martyr, does that imply that this hall has nothing to do with D, maybe? Completely different person?
Oh, shut up.
With any consolation, I imagine it's healthy.
Healthy.
Well-
Do some things because of
Dramatic.
You're right.
the list of.
That's just what I had thought of it. It has something to do with it.
These names, my
And the fact that they look similar as well is so strange. Same pigmentation of the skin, color of the hair, just different spot with the horn. That's really the only thing we have that tells us it's not her, not D, anyway. But who is this then?
I
The
think
longer
this
we
is
keep it
shows
sealed away, the more of us are just gonna be born.
like the reincarnation process is what you get somebody who's dead or dying, and then you have a
Thanks for
newborn
reminding
there.
me.
Wait a moment.
He seems to be feeling easy. Yes?
I'm going through a logical mindset here, but
CT,
hear me out on this.
Yeah.
Each one of these people,
Do you think-
these reincarnations, they
do you think this martyr
had
fulfilled their side of the prophecy
at one point or another?
and was reincarnated as D?
Or at some point, they knew that it would mean death.
It's possible.
That's what would happen. There's too many markings in here. Someone in the line had to have figured it out before us. There has to be something written somewhere. Something to one of D, or I guess you as well, one of your
And
reincarnations.
another thing,
Must have put
just
this
a
information
small
somewhere.
additive,
It just doesn't
might
make
not
sense
mean
for it
much.
to exist.
But a martyr is almost like a rebel, is it not? Someone who goes against that normal path.
Not
As D?
necessarily, but
24.
a martyr is somebody.
Before you.
Typically, a martyr becomes a martyr
Something somewhere.
because they die
Makes
for what they
sense.
believe in. But then they're, that people who have the same belief
And I
will
would
prop them
imagine
up
for
and have that be like their
predecessors,
ground
like
zero for change, whether it be peaceful or violent.
None of
Like,
us
for example,
fulfilled the
If, let's say,
prophecy.
country A and country B
But they could have gotten something.
have different beliefs, but somebody from
But
country A murders somebody from country B that was a political person per se, and they just made a martyr. An icon of a belief.
I can read that right there, and it looks like Bell is right there. Bell was a martyr.
I suppose what I was going to add is out of the question a little bit then. Though,
from what I gather,
I still have a pretty good feeling anyway.
the fate
This martyr may very well be
killed,
reincarnated into
killed, executed.
the D that we know.
Okay, over here.
That makes sense. I mean, but the question is how many times has this cycle occurred? Is Bell the most recent? Bell 10 iterations before?
At minimum.
Bell.
What did he say?
Bell's
22 cycles.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Daedalus, Whisper, Bell.
This is the top cycle.
Oh,
And number 12.
I wonder if this is the list of
This is
reincarnations.
all names.
Oh.
People leading up to D at
Because Auntie Ika is up there.
This is their minds.
But here's the thing that slightly concerns me a bit as well, 'cause especially reading over there as well. Both of those right there,
Mm-hmm.
you see
that's the
those
same
two?
lettering.
They both say Deimos.
2 lineages. 1 person, 2 lineages.
But didn't you say Deimos was 2 people? Day and Mos?
Maybe I need to look at those things, but it's saying
Twin goddesses of wind?
not wind. I remember hearing twin goddesses about something, but it's like
Oh.
I don't. some things say Deimos, if I'm remembering correctly, some refer to Deimos as one individual, others refer to as two. I don't know which one is accurate.
Well,
I have
one person can't reincarnate into two people, surely. Maybe it was two goddesses or what have you, each of which are part of these corresponding lines of reincarnation, one of which led the path of reincarnation to Ika, while the other to D.
I'm
We're the 12th.
remembering correctly about the legends.
The 12th,
and
right. So that
things.
okay, so each time
The-
though
It's
wait,
they refer
did you
Deimos,
say something I'm trying to remember.
the twin goddess.
You
There's
have
a
one
twin,
form,
but it's
D has another.
goddess as in
means
one.
that there are constantly twins.
We're always one twins, yes.
Okay, so then there's 12 iterations, not 24. I was wrong.
That explains that mural then.
Though,
It does.
I can explain
what
that.
about this, Flora? If the top is Ika's line,
The markings
and the bottom is D's,
indicated there indicate
what's this middle part here?
keys and locks.
It said, I'm paraphrasing once again,
You're right,
but
that
it's
does
like,
look like a key.
it says they will
And-
set the Umbra free, may their story be forgotten, essentially.
Ah, yes, that was that part. Alright.
Mhm.
Could it be
Basically,
undone?
Lots of thinking going on.
If the key has been inserted
Okay, so fate says that the both of them are gonna
and they're not dying.
wipe the slate clean.
If both doors are open, something
he gets free.
free and made whole.
I have a question, I guess. Then essentially.
My father is chained up with two locks. Me and Daedalus have the keys.
What's your dad's name?
The Umbral King.
Oh shit. That's a title.
I'd rather not speak it. But the situation it's yes. Whatever's going on with Daedalus, it's activating their key. The difference between me and Daedalus in a past life is the Umbral King has cursed us, and instead of dying and him waiting for another reincarnation for hopefully to be unlocked again, if we die this time, the key takes over. And we go on. It's
And what causes the key to take over?
I thought it would be, the moment our bodies die. Now that the keys have their own minds, they would take over. But with what's going on with Daedalus, maybe that's not the case.
Or maybe it is.
It sounds like you're not too sure yourself.
Hey, I have a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You
One
first.
moment.
Do you think the reason why we're not getting Mom to respond is because the red key is currently there?
Again,
that's who
as
we're
I said,
talking to?
I can't tell who's in control with how they are right now. The key's goal, when it takes control, is to go to the chain, the lock, unlock.
Take control of your servant.
Oh.
That's why
Oh.
Shut up.
What am I missing here?
Sorry.
That one says take control of your servant and said, like, release the Umbra made Deimos, like,
That's
rest,
what our kind
finally
used to be
rest.
called. Not Dreamin', servant.
Right, but that sounds like that panel over there is not meant for just anyone to read. It sounds like this would be told unto the key. Take hold of your servant, the dreamin' that you are connected to. Unleash the Umbral King by using yourself to unlock the door.
This is why I stress so much
don't-
not to let Daedalus wander away. Because
Well,
I
this
knew...
clearly looks like hemomancy. Maybe
It looks like a hemomantic ritual to me. Look at it.
Maybe.
It's like the past iteration of D is channeling this, and they're forming the blood into a key.
Perhaps that's what happens when they get there. To the door.
They just go on a killing spree, kill a bunch of people, and then form a key out of blood.
this one, whoever this one was, they learned of their fate and thought they could break the cycle.
So, this isn't completely what I
But now
remember
death is not an
this
option.
was, but
It's not a way to escape it.
based on
Besides, I don't think any of us want to kill D anyhow,
presents
if we can help it.
Absolutely not.
day, but the wing isn't something normally associated, like the bat wing, like,
What?
yeah.
I can't think of anything. We're missing a chunk of something. It's information that has to exist somewhere. Even with... I have a question, Nika. Is there a reason why... I mean, I could be wrong. But is there a reason why that you're not depicted anywhere around here, any of your reincarnations?
This isn't my home.
The wing,
This is theirs.
angel wing, they don't
Daedalus'.
So there's another one that exists?
I would assume so.
Likely in the Darklands, maybe?
I think we need to go there then. There has to be something there. Think about it.
If I ever feel it
potentially
beckoning
do
me, I'll let you
something
know.
else as well.
But
Because I know
if
that's
you
how
think about
Daedalus
it,
found this place or something. They felt it
Because
calling to
we
them.
had a fishing trip
that might be
in
something then. There's
we had a
incomplete
fishing
piece
trip
here.
in the
If we think
Lost-
about it fully,
Lost
maybe
Seas,
both
right?
places complement each other.
and we
maybe they
found
answer
this
the question.
this mish because it was a fish that was like a
Hope so.
missile. And then somebody
I think
Things
that's
are very
the
started
best
communicating
way to get right
through
now.
that.
It might be worth it.
They
All I
started
know
communicating through that, and they knew about us entering the location where the flower
If we can
was.
find a way to
They
snap
knew that.
Daedalus out of the state they're in, just
And they said
that's
that
why
they
we had
felt
them moved.
days
We couldn't risk any of the.
as that's like sold there.
It's also why I found out that they were not in a good state. There were reports of things acting up relating to them.
And they said
And
something about going to sanctuary.
it was the moment they watched.
Right.
What was it?
To
Opal's
talk more
video
about
or
that.
something. It started happening,
about
Right.
this, or like about the
but before they were
But the
at least
flower thing, but
mainly
they
in control.
mentioned Deimos.
And that sanctuary there, that's
it changed them
I could
physically,
swear
but
that's
otherwise,
something
it's like
a
they're-
word that popped into my head when I
some of
was
their
taking a look at the
lives or
flower I
something.
got.
here, same here, when I took mine.
But why would... I can't figure out why. Either the trauma of it, but
I can only assume it's linked to the Umbra somehow. The intense negative made it active.
my thought is why now? Because there has to be... I mean, Dee's been around for a while. And when I would be around D, I would only get a sense that they've been through so much. So why this specifically now? Was it just the right time? Was what caused it? It wasn't. It couldn't have just been the video, in my opinion. Though I could be wrong about that.
You heard the term, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right, but I don't know. There's part of me that refuses to believe that that would be enough. I would.
There
like to
was
believe...
another thing. I had CT here join me on a foray, if you will, against some enemies that had taken someone quite dear to me. When we were there fending them off, we fought in this simulation room of some kind. That, or it was very real, at least it felt that way. I recall counting twice in which they did something there that pulled all of us apart atom by atom and effectively killed us, then put us back together. Well, CT's connected to D through the Umbra, as he's one of their Umbral Knights. She can feel that death, felt it twice. And likely the damage is...
time that the Opal thing
Right.
happened too.
It's been a compounding thing.
Mom was like still somewhat present after the Opal thing and like that. They just became unresponsive after Uncle CT's part. And Mom was already like struggling a bit with more negative stuff anyway. I don't remember exactly because Mom doesn't like burdening people.
Ego death.
That makes sense.
They gave up.
Sorry.
That's why they're. That's why they're.
Grimoire just mentioned that the key changing its condition. Instead of feeling Daedalus die, Daedalus felt CT die. Use that as an opportunity to activate.
Fuck.
So when they felt the death, instead of it being their own death, they changed the condition to where they would feel
The Umbral King
Knight's
changed
death.
the conditions?
It is a curse after all.
Okay.
An umbral curse as well. No more negative than your typical curse.
It always comes back to curses no matter what when it comes to this type of thing.
But the way these plaques describe it, the moment it happens,
Of it, though.
it's over.
No sense of it.
Takes control and does what it needs to.
Yeah, but it changes the terms. It's like programming, I guess, in a way, where, like how you do with like magic items, that type of thing. There has to be a draw and a condition that's set. If the condition was feeling the death, instead of it being the death that occurred, then it wouldn't have as much power. Death is absolute. It's final. It doesn't happen again. So
Maybe
it's not as
that's-
strong, maybe. So because of that, that's why D isn't fully dead right now.
Yeah.
It might also explain why it hasn't taken control and tried to escape as well. Otherwise,
It's probably fighting for control, and that's what they're in this kind of
In between.
state. Mm.
Right. So the question is, how do we bring D back and push that key out of power?
Question. When D is at the state when they're sleeping, have you checked their eyes? Rapid eye movement.
They haven't been sleeping. That's all you used your elixir for, to keep their body alive. And they're fighting so much. I guess they're fighting each other so much that Daedalus can't sleep, and we're using your elixir to keep them alive. They're
Would something bad happen if they did sleep?
if they went No, if they went to sleep, they would go to the dreamscape, and then the key could take full control. Is what I would
Wait.
assume.
The dreamscape? So this implies all of this is happening inside an inner battle, right? Back and forth?
The way
Who's-
they're not sleeping at the moment, so they're just
So we put
the way I
D to
described
sleep
it.
and we
We
get
go
into the
in.
dreamscape.
We go in and kick the shit out of that key.
There should be a last resort.
What else do you propose prior?
Right, but
The
there's
thing
got to be
is, I
something
don't
else
even know if
first,
you could
though.
Get in. The thing is to get into the dreamscape, Daedalus themselves has to let you in. I don't know if they can.
What about you?
What about me?
Yes, I could technically force no in. Or
That might be an option. I mean, it's there. It's not something that I would really like. This is a plan Z type thing, because if we fail, D loses.
Then we just can't lose.
and we can't let them. Even if the key takes over, we can't let them unlock.
Why can't I just go and open the door? I have the connection.
True.
They would have to be asleep, though, is the thing. And that's
That's the game.
that's when that's the issue. Is if they fall asleep, the battle begins.
But as far as we know, they can't dreamscape we can't enter it unless we are invited.
Well,
Or unless
So just like earlier, I can pick my way in. I have an unknown link,
you yourself, yes, as a knight, could
and then I
get
can
in.
fight a door open so others can get in.
maybe a
But
two-pronged
the thing
attack, I
is-
guess, in that way.
As well.
You could try to buy as much time for Ika to get in, and then once Ika gets in, you could maybe let some other people in as well, the rest of us in or something.
What are you thinking, Flora?
This might take a little bit more time. I don't know how fast we could do this, but like I mentioned before, on that fishing trip back to the Lost Seas, through a robotic fish, there was a talk about sanctuary and how that they knew we entered the flower area. They didn't know it was us specifically, but they sensed Day enter. I can only, with all this knowledge, I can only assume they're referring to Mom. And
Of course you know about it. Sorry.
they
Born there.
my theory for this is if anyone is to have at least a decent amount of answers without us forcefully going through it, it would be them.
Sanctuary can make us a key.
From
I'm
what
missing
I've
something here.
gathered, a mish. We called it a mish because it was a fish that would, like a robotic fish. It would expand out and it became a miss.
Yeah, I remember seeing one. What does that have to do with the sanctuary? Is this a person?
So yeah, somebody communicated through the fish, saying
It's a
because it's
place.
a drone. They were observing. Yeah, solution. Like sanctuary is a place, and I remember from Bishan because I was curious about the Lost Seas that there's a place called Solution in there. I kind of on the nose.
Yeah.
Kind of on the nose.
Uncle.
I can't believe we are about to figure out how to save Dee from a talking robot missilefish.
Yeah, and then going to
They
a place
said-
called Solution.
Right.
They said,
Flower incubating chamber. What? I wasn't.
So how about this then?
No, speak all you need to, please.
Let's figure out where Sanctuary is, arm ourselves up, and then when we have the knowledge, hopefully, we can go and conduct a raid
Speaking of arming ourselves up, I've got a weapon that may be of significant use, I would imagine. By no means am I carrying the operation on my back, but I've at least got something that'll be a damn good help. It's this, guardian relic. It's called the Synaptic Spear. If you're willing for a small story time, a while ago, enemies of my realm...
Before we do your story, let's have Laura finish her thought.
Oh, right.
So I talked to this about with mom after the fishing trip for this, and it was a plan in the making for this part as well. But I've been exploring that temple in the Lost Seas, you know, where the hourglass is in the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the maze changes constantly. It's more difficult to find, but I found it on occasions. There's like this door gate thing that has a handprint on it. Like there's an etching, like rectangular thing, and it has a handprint. I put my hand on it previously, did nothing, but I remember with communicating with that person through that fish, which is such a weird thing to say, they said have a citizen of sanctuary let people go down and let people in kind of thing, and so I'm wondering if that's...
Under the maze there's a city, there's like a city or something, or?
Well, based off of what Flora's saying, that door is only available to citizens, and we had the sanctuary echo in our minds. We took that flower. I imagine you probably heard it too, because you were a holder of it. So if one of us interact with that handprint, we'll probably open that door and get to...
Let's give it a try then.
But we'd have to find it again, wouldn't we? If the maze is ever changing, we'd have to find the door again. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Is the door in the maze, or is it
the same?
Sound good.
It's
well, I mean, that's... Well, I mean, we've got plenty of time, and we have a direct access there. We can just hourglass transport.
We'll be right in the center, but we still have to find it.
Well,
That's
who's
fine,
we? Are non-weapon thingy users able to use that hourglass?
We have an anger point
We
there,
have to add you
too.
to the party. I have a maximum limit of 6. CT has 4.
I can't tell if you're sarcastic.
I hope you're ready to do a little bit of spring cleaning. For the occasion, anyhow.
So let me summarize where we got to so far. So before we go to Orion's spear thing,
Right.
we find a potential solution to prepare for this dreamscape raid via the maze that will lead us to Sanctuary and then to Solution. We're hoping we can get knowledge there to figure out
Hopefully.
where to go.
It's a gamble, but it's better than Plan Z.
And then your spear. What does your spear offer?
Well, in short, the Synaptic Spear was something created by enemies of ours known as the Hive. They found a way to capture and use the light, the very thing I used to, dish out justice and all that nonsense. The Synaptic Spear was created by Scions. They're, well, the name is quite on the nose. They are psionic entities that belong to the Cabal. Yet another enemy of mine from our realm. Only this time a sect of them joined forces with us for this fight. The idea is we use the spear to... We would first weaken one of the generals of the Hive army, and then utilize the spear to enter their mindscape. There, it would make manifest enemies that we would have to clear out, and then the general would make itself known to us. Think of it as like the centralized protector of their mind. They see that as themselves, in essence. So this general would appear in their mindscape being the guardian of their thoughts. We would utilize the spear to kill them, and then usurp those thoughts to figure out what exactly they were up to. The point being, the synaptic sphere is charged with psionic power and the light. Seeing as I'm the one wielding it, I imbue it with my light. It's a strong weapon, imbued with psionic energies and the light. It's bound to help out in the final fight against this key if that's the route we go down. Or anyone in a dreamscape, mindscape. If we happen to have to trek into there, it would be a pretty good tool to have with us. By no means is it the solution. It's just an extra leg up on the competition.
Definitely want to keep that honest. And
I also want to share something else too. Amelia, come here. I had a suspicion that this might be the case, but now that I'm thinking about it more, I believe it is. I have had a situation that happened, like with this key dream thing that could happen. I believe I had something that happened very similarly. About a month or so ago, I had a really vivid dream where I woke up in a sweat, and during that dream I was fighting myself, except it wasn't myself. It was, the best thing I can say is that it looked like Bartholomew, like how he looked, except it was me.
That's down
so it
in
was you with Curse 5, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. I think I was fighting myself to effectively save my own life. Like a trial of some type. I have an idea, it's a gut feeling, that given the fact that I've gone through something like this before, and how eerily similar it is, I don't know. It's, to me, it feels like this is something that I should be able to help a considerable amount with. Because I've gone through it in some fashion as like a trial in of itself, but Amelia, you said that when I was fighting though, in that dream my shields were constantly changing, right?
I shouldn't be out for too much longer. Everyone's gonna wonder where I am.
I think, and I could be wrong about this,
I didn't see it.
but it's quite possible that with this specific situation, that our weapons might be more helpful than not in this. And they have a spiritual aspect. I mean, we know that, well, that your scythe has a spirit, and that the fan spirit's a thing. At that point, it wouldn't be hard to assume that all of the weapons have a spirit in some capacity. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's something to all of this that loosely connects some kind of...
Grimoire, maybe I should let you have
I don't know.
at least some
It's not a big deal in any case, and with a, with a will there's a way.
I know.
But I feel like in a dreamscape, maybe we'll be more effective.
Too much.
Right. Then here's the game then.
Where you can talk to us in important situations so you don't have to be
I'll have a party of my own, which will comprise of me, Orion, Ika, and Cecilia.
Shut up.
And then we'll have Flora give us the general description of where to go.
Sometimes he sounds super wise.
We'll take your party with us.
Like a complete idiot.
And whoever else wants to attend, maybe make it a 10-person event. We'll make our way to Sanctuary. We'll do that first. We'll probably have to battle through the maze again. Maybe. Maybe
Highly
from
likely.
Sanctuary, I don't know. But after we do this... Okay.
When it came to the dreamscape that I was in, while I was fighting, I realized I couldn't do it by myself. I manifested in some way. I think the shield manifested a version of Amelia and a version of Falia. I think I can only take those two. If I were to go into this, I think it's because I feel strongly about them, and I think that might be important for the fight, but I'm not sure. I'll fill gaps where I can, but I think if we're going to be fighting this key thing, I think I only can take Amelia and Falia.
That's fine. Then we'll just keep it smaller. Smaller numbers means we can move faster. But either way, after we get our answers from Solution or Sanctuary, well then, I will basically invade Dee's dreamscape
Find a way to use it
enough
without covering myself
to
in
give us enough time to have Ika get in there. And then Ika can open the door to everybody else. And then we fight this key.
That's where we're not dying.
After we weaken it a good bit, we use Orion's psionic spear
Maybe even
to
find
get it back under control. We're not going to be able to break this curse, but maybe we can lock it up for good.
At least enough to where Dee can take control again. If it's weak, that means its grip on her mind will be that much more as well. Or that much less, I should say. Once it's weak enough, considering Dee is already fighting for that dominance, it would be them who would take control again. The key would be booted out of power, being too weak, and the curse locked back up again where it belongs.
We need to prepare for a long-winded raid. That, or a dungeon and a raid. That's what we need to prepare for.
It'll be a hell of a fight, no doubt.
Top. If we want to be fast about it, I say we need to prepare physically and mentally now, because when we're ready, we'll travel to the Sanctuary and Solution, and then from there, we will return here, back in the Acres, and then immediately go on to the Dreamscape.
We'll have seconds to react to...
That is true.
We don't have time for preparation. We'd have to make sure we're prepared for both from the get-go.
Right.
The trait of us. The dream.
So I would assume this is going to be a 4-5 hour adventure.
Technically, would be going into.
I suppose we'll get ready for it. And if this leads into nothing, there's also another potential avenue that we could go. I feel like this place has incomplete knowledge. This has knowledge that relates to Dee, but if Dee and Ika are a pair, then Ika's Hall of Fate should have the rest of the information that we need too.
The only issue is finding it. Supposedly they originally found this place because it called Dee here, but without that, we're in the dark.
Yeah.
When it comes to the dreamscape, if our choice is to go in, something to really keep in mind is our personal dreamscape is where we're our strongest. We'll be literally going into the place where they are strongest, key related.
So it'll be a hard-fought fight.
It would be you would be going into where they're strongest. They are able to chain things there and do whatever they wish there. It's literally like going
I
into
think
their
I know
own realm.
just the spot.
Well,
Come on, guys.
until we find another option, I'm not really sure what else we can do. We'll have to see what other information we have. With all of
I
these,
know
is this agreeable to
exactly
you?
how to help give Dee an edge. And it's right here in this hall.
Fine with, but just refrain from speaking anything about the keys in my family to anyone else.
I understand the concerns about the keys, or the keys dreamscape, technically seeing as it's got most of the control being strongest, but that only means we have to be that much more careful. It's not going to stop me from doing everything I can to help Dee, and I know it won't stop you either.
No, but we will physically go through here.
You don't.
Ooh.
So physically, we'll go through the maze, face whatever we have to, go through Sanctuary and face that. After that, we place Dee here, right under this light.
What is this like?
Every time.
Yeah, what's the significance?
Every time I've been in this room with Dee here, every time their eyes go golden, regardless of what they want to do, and they get lost in it.
Really?
I have a feeling it's a strong connection to the entity in this room here. We place Dee here, under the light. I guarantee it'll give them an upper edge
He's gone
as
quiet.
well
He
in that
doesn't like
dream
this.
state. As well as
I guess it won't be possible for you, Orion, but I guess for those who can't, if we all have a dose of soul-soothing potion before we go in, that would probably help too. Anything to give us a spiritual edge.
Hey, I've got a soul. I think.
Can you drink things?
I can. Not many
Okay.
things have an effect, but
Anyway.
I'd imagine having a soul is more than enough.
And soul soothing water is it's like an energy drink for your soul. That's the best way I can put it. It tastes like Powerade.
Oh, that's nice. I think that may very well be the exception to the rule. Potions and the like that heal the body don't work because I'm made of metal. But if this is for soul stuff, well, I've got a soul just the same as all of you. I don't see why it wouldn't interact no problem.
Okay.
But here, this is our plan. You get your two, Talia and Amelia. I'll get my group, which is pretty much here. We'll have to get Cecilia. I don't want to take you into combat because we have no idea.
If it's Umber related, I would straight up die.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Which is why we don't want you there.
Cecilia, for your safety. We'll go to the maze. We'll find sanctuary. Get our answers. Get our brain knowledge. Whatever we need. And then we'll relocate D here, set them here, put them to sleep, and then I will initiate the invasion, open the door for Ika, and then from there, you guys can join off of Ika. Now we're all in it. This is our second war front. This is our do or die room, right here.
Okay. I think it would also be good to have someone who's watching our physical bodies too while we're doing this. So someone that we would all trust doing that. I'm willing to defer to Ika on whoever you would have a good suggestion on who could watch our bodies while we're doing this, if you have an idea.
Surely you can take some of your rebels to guard the temple while doing the Role's operation.
Yes.
I think it would be better for this to be a last resort thing as well, because if something
Mhm.
goes wrong, we're losing the main people that could help against it as well, kind of thing. Because I don't think it would help Mom to know that they ended up killing people they care about if it came to that for the key.
It's also quite possible too that if D falls asleep, it could be possible to wake them up too. Maybe. You could jolt us all out of the dream.
I don't know how easy that would be.
I'd say first steps first, get into Sanctuary, figure out if there's other ways besides entering the dreamscape to help out Mom. Because that fighting the key itself should be the last resort, because I don't want to see anybody die, and I don't think Mom would want to see anybody die to help them out. I've learned from Grimoire, because I asked him, the library that we were trying to find in the Acres is also potentially connected to Sanctuary in some way. So if we manage to find that, that might be another way to get in. And
Okay.
from what I'm aware of,
I
the
also
library
agree with
holds,
what
like,
you said.
all the information.
This should be a last resort.
Well, let's just be ready to take risks, because no matter what we're gonna do, we're gonna change fate. We're gonna break
Otherwise,
the
we'll
out of
cease
this
to exist.
fate.
I think one of the things that because it's like this is your main thing, work as fast, like as much as you can to get Opal back, because I want to see if that has any effect in helping out Mom. Because it's like initially seeing like people making sure that they're fine help Mom out for stuff as well. So if you get Opal back, that might make it so we don't even have to go for stuff and like that. But
That's very true.
work up for finding Opal. On my side, I'll get Chime and like the others to help look for like the library. I can try to figure out. It's random, but it's like I can potentially find a way for us to quickly go through the maze. Because I know when the reset time and all that is. I want my mom to be okay, but I know my mom would not want people to get hurt, like, or killed just to bring them back.
Such is the sin for having people care about you, I fear. But we'll do what we can to avoid the fighting. But knowing my history, it'll lead to it.
Well, I think we figured it out then.
Let's change fate.
At least not for now.
I always thought Fate Breaker was a pretty cool title. I can add it to my resume.
Okay, what's that?
Oh, you heard that too.
You walked
Fine,
in
then.
my room, talking about breaking fate, changing it.
Just a little bit.
If you don't mind.
Don't mind what?
Oh, well, just a teensy bit of tampering. Just a smidge to bring our...
It wouldn't be the first time that. I'm assuming you're talking about the pink one.
Yes, we very much enjoy the pink one.
Yeah, she's already broken 4 threads on her own.
Oh, lovely. So is normal Tuesday for you, hopefully?
Well, it's been 5 years. I suppose just a Tuesday.
Well, I hope you're ready to reset the clock since the last one.
Been 3 years since the last one.
Like word.
This one's been on track to finish. I weaved this one myself.
You did a fantastic job. She's lovely.
To be clear, I'm not the entity.
Oh, I see. I thought I was speaking to God.
You are talking to God in your own words, I suppose.
Oh, that's great.
I'm just a fairy.
Yes, what?
I'm trying to remember because they seem familiar.
I would hope so. I bound myself to them for a time.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Fate Breaker.
I told you it sounds good.
Fate
Yeah.
Breaker, right?
I am the Fate Breaker. I left here for a while.
Welcome back.
I imagine that you leave for a stroll, you come back, and there are
I
6 weirdos on the inside.
Well, any tips on this direction?
Tips on what?
This direction we're about to take?
You want me to tell you what your fates will be?
No. I
Ugh.
was keeping that,
I've already been shown that once, I don't want another.
more about any tips on how to change fate. Especially, you must have been eavesdropping the entire time. Or pretty much.
We weren't eavesdropping, just we walked into their room.
Walked into my room.
I'm sorry, your name was
let's
not
see.
the door.
Tips to undo my tapestry. Don't?
That's what I expected.
Well, I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I think that's kind of the plan. Just a little bit.
Then I have no advice for you. If you defeat this thread, then another thread will start. Sometimes you weave your own tapestry of fate, but I can't say that I know when that will start.
Well, at least you'll have something else to work on when we get done, yeah? A new one to put together.
That's just life there.
I mean, I see. Well, a few of you already have your own tapestry. I can't touch your threads.
Okay.
This one doesn't even have one.
Good God, fuck!
Okay. Any last words, anybody, before we all walk out of here definitely with, like, inspirational music?
I don't have any.
Oh, we're gonna tamper with stuff, but it's no hard feelings. You're a lovely, lovely lady.
They're a neutral
Maybe.
force. I don't think they really explicitly mind.
I don't really care if you break the tapestry. Just don't make a mess.
Yes, them.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. See, I knew it was a lady. Neutral force. That's a woman. Tell me. What did you mean when you said I had no fate? Oh, I guess it's back to nap time.
Post down.
Front down.
This one doesn't even have one. Oh, that's so true, though.
I love this shit.
Because only if you didn't come for this conversation, none of this would have happened.
None of this leaves this temple.
This is 3-year-old.
I'll make that very clear on the way out. None of this leaves this spot.
La 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 la.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Join a Discord server and a VRChat group.
Okay, we'll go for like 15 minutes.
Ew. We prepared ourselves a Final Fantasy raid, fellas.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck
sitting there,
yeah.
like, this sounds suspiciously like a Final Fantasy raid.
Oh.
I hate my father. I hate
Yeah,
my
I
father.
recognize that.
I hate my father.
I recognize that model.
Ooh, it's so peak. It's so peak.
It's peak on our fate.
Absolute cinema.
Every time I do
yeah.
Edgar's or like roleplay stuff, I want to make models. But I'm like, I need money.
Well,
Word.
that was it for this fun mini scene. This was discovering.
We'll make you a knight yet.
Just yes. Thank you.
I'll have to like
Me
set aside
going
for my
up to
personal
D
projects.
And taking a crisp Abraham Lincoln, tuck it in, and then you know, tuck it in your pocket there, and being like, I'm still playing Umbral King, right?
Not this. I figured this is roleplay.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
is
no,
the
I'm
good
bragging
shit.
consistently.
Alright,
I'm gonna be the Umbral King.
that is going to be it for this session. Thank you guys so much for giving this a watch. I know I streamed earlier today, but I did want to stream Orion's POV of this. Just because this is some really interesting shit, and it looks like we are opening the doors for a crazy fucking experience, so I am very, very excited for that. But anyway, you all take care, love you all, and I will see you guys in the next stream, whenever that is.
It's the Umbral King.
Good drip, thank you very much. I put the model together myself. I was thinking of giving it extra colors than just like the black and gunmetal gray, but I don't know, I'm like balancing between really liking it and thinking it's too bland. I'd like to know what you guys think, maybe. Either way, you all take care, and I'll catch you all in the next session.
No, that one like hints a little bit to what he looks